Philadelphia's two-day rookie camp is officially in the books. And man, did we learn a lot about not just the new faces, but Sean Mannion's new offense. Plus why Howie just brought in a defensive speedster with plenty of upside. A.J. Brown spoke for the first time this weekend, and of course it caused a lot of stir. Tell us Mott, this is Tell us Mott Show. Philadelphia's rookie minicamp is officially in the books, and while everybody by now has oohed and awed over videos of Makai Lemon's release off the line or Markel Bell's massive size, or of course, Benard's first day of organized football, there was a lot of other, more advanced insight that came out of the Jefferson complex that you probably missed, some of which I've honestly never seen before. Plus, Smitty and AJ both spoke at different events over the weekend and gave us some very telling insight. Howie Roseman keeps proving that he literally never sleeps. First, though, we are approaching 117,000 subscribers here on the channel, and so I figured we'd do a brand new Jordan Spector art giveaway. Been a while since I've given away one of these bad boys. The Saquon in the Snow is a fan favorite, so we're gonna give one away when we hit 117,000 subscribers, so drop a like and let me know if you want to go ahead and win it down below. Now, I don't know about you, but rookie minicamp is usually one of the least exciting camps of the Birds' entire summer, mainly because of how little we actually see of it. The newest Eagles are simply out there getting their sea legs under them, but the cameras are not allowed for really most of the practice. Although this weekend, as we'll see, had both Makai Lemon and Benard setting the NFL media on fire in ways I did not expect. But first though, we actually have to start with Philadelphia and really Howie Roseman being Howie Roseman because this morning he brought in former Chiefs cornerback Nazeeh Johnson to the Jefferson complex for an in-person interview, in what looks like an attempt to bolster the cornerback depth, but also the special team side of the football. Ringo, beware. Who is Nazeeh Johnson? Well, he was widely considered one of the best gunners in the entire league a couple of seasons ago, mainly due to his 4.38 speed and tackling ability. But of course, his 2025 season was derailed with a shoulder injury, but the film from 2024, 2 seasons ago, shows he can definitely still not just be a great gunner, but fill in at cornerback from time to time. Although more likely as a depth piece, not as a starter, because he did struggle at times to pick up Steve Spagnuolo's pretty difficult scheme. I personally, though, look at this news and say, I think Howie Roseman is trying to push Ringo or replace him straight up. Ringo obviously has never reached anywhere close to his cornerback potential, but he has been technically a solid gunner who was able to see the football field on special teams a lot the past couple of seasons. My best guess, if they were to sign him, is that it's a 1-to-1 cornerback battle. Can they upgrade from Ringo or push Ringo to be even better, not just on special teams, but as a backup cornerback as well? Now, if Philadelphia does make this move, and I do think they will, the Birds technically, at the moment, do not have a roster spot open, but can make one pretty easily by moving either Joshua Weru or Benard to the international exemption spot, giving Philadelphia 91 overall roster positions. Which, speaking of Benard, he did make headlines over the weekend as it was technically his first ever day of organized football. And while yes, everybody noted that he did look very raw, although what did you really expect? He's not going to be Myles Garrett overnight, people. I did think that he looked a lot more comfortable running around in pads and a helmet than, again, for somebody who has never worn them ever. Plus, let's not forget that Jordan Mailata looked pretty darn rough in his first month of organized football as well, but by the preseason, that would be August, his potential was very clear, which is actually exactly what Jordan Mailata said during DeVonta Smith's celebrity softball game over the weekend. When asked about Benard's potential, he fully believes they can get him to an NFL caliber player.
I went down early in the year and met up with the whole group, met you all there, and I think just by chance we just stay in contact because it's what you do, but it's no surprise. I mean, it shouldn't come to the surprise of many that we stayed in contact. We met beforehand early in the year, and we're just super excited for the guy, man. He's gonna love it, honestly. Start of the journey, start of the story, but hey, we're gonna get in there. We're gonna get in there, that's for sure.
Also, I want to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video, Upside. Even on the tightest budgets right now, gas, groceries, even eating out are expenses we cannot avoid. But you can control this, getting cash back every single time you fill up at the grocery store or go out to eat with the Upside app. And I actually first downloaded this app like years ago whenever it came out, been using it ever since, and it's an absolute game changer. Before I even pull into a gas station or walk into a restaurant, I'm checking Upside to claim an offer. And I use it all the time around my city, and the extra cash back really starts to add up when you're out running errands. And it's super simple. Like, you open the app, claim an offer, pay with your credit card like normal, and then you get paid. That's literally it. And yes, it is real cash back. It's not points that you'll never use or credits that expire. It's actual money that you can transfer right in your bank account. And what's also cool is that you can stack Upside with your existing credit card and loyalty rewards to earn even more on top. And independent studies have confirmed Upside users earn significantly more than traditional rewards programs. With over 100,000 participating locations, there's almost always an offer right where you're already going. So if you want to find out how much you can go ahead and earn, just download the free Upside app, use my code Thomas, and you'll get 25 cents back per gallon when you fill up your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank of gas try Upside, use my promo code Mott. Now, moving on to rookie camp as a whole, and I think my biggest takeaway, besides the fact that all of them look pretty darn impressive, has to be Sean Mannion. Which, no, I don't mean the fact we finally got a proof-of-life sighting of the Birds' newest offensive coordinator, but yes, it is nice to know he is, in fact, a real person. For me, it was the subtle hints at some major changes that begin in Eagles rookie minicamp and are going to really start to blossom during training camp. First up, how about the Birds finally using a helmet camera, as you see here, on quarterback Cole Payton, a new tool likely implemented by Mannion himself and something Philadelphia has never done in the past. And while other teams have been using these film study cameras for a very long time, at least the past 5 seasons, I think the reasoning here is all centered around Mannion's brand new playbook, because it has a double emphasis on over-the-field throws, more specifically, looking off safeties in order to create windows with your eyes. And we've heard this the past couple of months that Mannion's system is going to be focused on throwing over the middle of the football field, which is a very welcome sign and a very good thing, but actually getting subtle indications of it in person at training camp further goes ahead and show why Philadelphia took Makai Lemon and Eli Stowers with their first 2 draft picks. Because both Lemon and Stowers made their college livings over the middle of the football field. And now, with Mannion at the helm, the Birds are looking to do the exact same thing. And both rookies, by the way, this weekend sound pretty darn impressed with what they've seen from the brand new offensive coordinator.
I know that he's going to be really good for this program. He's a really smart mind. Just learning the offense in the few days that I have, I can tell that it's going to be a really good scheme and that we're going to be able to make some really good plays, and our offense is going to be powerful because of him. And so I'm really excited to work with him.
He's a great coach, definitely. Getting to know him more and more, as a person and then as a coach, really, he's super invested into the players. So I'm excited to learn a lot from him.
You get the sense that the offense is a good match for your skill set?
100%. I feel like I can add, what I add to the offense. They can use, my ability. So I'm super excited to, showcase what I can bring to the offense.
Can I also just point out how fun it is to have an offensive coordinator that still looks athletic enough that he could probably suit up tomorrow and at least sling the rock around the yard? Something that historically we forget has bode well for Jalen Hurts, at least when it comes to his offensive coordinators, with former UNLV quarterback Shane Steichen and former NFL quarterback Kellen Moore getting the most out of our QB1. The Sean Mannion experience has officially begun. I know it's just rookie minicamp. I know we didn't get to see a lot of plays or a lot of 11-on-11s, but the subtle hints are there. The rookies are excited. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see what this offense looks like in training camp, in preseason, obviously leading into week 1. Now, moving on to the defensive side of the ball, and I have to talk about safety Cole Wisniewski, as the former Texas Tech defensive back looked very polished by all accounts during rookie minicamp this weekend, which I guess sounds about right based on the fact he has 6 years of college football experience under his belt. And after this past weekend, NFL.com already has him as one potential day 3 pick who could start at safety in his first year in the NFL. And while yes, any 7th rounder does have a very long shot to actually see the field, that would be quite the miracle, Wisniewski told reporters over the weekend he already feels very comfortable in Vic Fangio's new scheme.
Football feels like football at the end of the day. And so I think going in the first day, I was those linemen look a little bit bigger in some spots. But past that, it really just felt like football, to be honest with you. Yeah, and I think especially because, looking forward to the next level, I was like, man, Fangio's system would be a really good system for me. Because obviously there's tons of teams across the country who are doing this now. And so being able to come to the source is awesome.
Obviously, Marcus Epps has a massive leg up on Wisniewski, probably going to go ahead and start week 1, but I fully expect Vic Fangio to give Wisniewski every single opportunity to win that job. He is the long-term answer, at least right now. We'll talk about that in a second. Whereas Marcus Epps is on a 1-year deal, veteran presence, we will go ahead and see. But remember, Fangio started rookie Drew Makuba pretty darn early on in his career. He has absolutely no fear in playing young players as long as they are ready week 1. Although, just to be clear, Philadelphia does get into August and think they might need to make a move for a safety, which we all know has happened before. Technically, the popular name right now is a trade for Browns safety Grant Delpit. And that's because the Browns took the player a lot of Philly fans wanted, 2nd round of the NFL draft, in Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, meaning they have a surplus of safeties, and Delpit is probably going to be the odd man out. As it stands, Philadelphia is currently spending the least amount of money at the safety position of any team in the NFL. And Delpit is just 27 years old and entering the final year of a 3-year contract, where this season he would only carry an $8 million dead cap hit if traded to the Birds. I certainly like the idea of a Grant Delpit being traded to Philadelphia during training camp, though, and I want to emphasize that. Philadelphia is not going to trade for a safety today or tomorrow or June 1st. They will do it during training camp once they know they need to go ahead and have a safety, which is why Cole Wisniewski has a chance to go ahead and get some starter or second team reps. Marcus Epps has a chance to go ahead and win and lock down that job. There are plenty of players on the roster who are going to be given their opportunity. If they fail, though, look for a trade in a Grant Delpit makes sense sometime in August. Now, moving back to the Birds' first-round draft pick in Makai Lemon for just a second here, only because I have never seen a rookie receiver just run a couple of routes against air and be so widely praised by the NFL media over the weekend, as a ton of fans noted that he looks even more shifty and explosive off the line than a lot of people expected. With ESPN's Benjamin Solak, for example, noting that Lemon should be the favorite for Offensive Rookie of the Year as long as the Birds' run-heavy scheme doesn't take targets away from the new number 9. For me personally, what I've loved with Lemon's first 2 weeks as a Philadelphia Eagle is the full embrace by the coaching staff and mainly DeVonta Smith, who seems to be taking him under his wing and giving him every single bit of insight he possibly could want. I mean, Smitty not only took Lemon to the Sixers game last weekend, but according to Lemon himself, was already helping to get the new pass catcher up to speed on life as an NFL wide receiver.
Yeah, we was chopping up a little bit. I wasn't trying to, pick his brain too much. He chilling. So, but I definitely got to talk to him, just see how things are going, see how, how the team is. And he said, I'm going to love it. He came to, a great organization, a great team, a brotherhood. So I'm super excited, to get around the guys. And it was definitely great, meeting him and, chopping it up with him.
On the flip side, DeVonta Smith himself spoke to the media before his 5th annual celebrity softball game in Allentown this past weekend, which did feature Jelix Hunt winning the home run derby and Smitty's team winning the game for a 5th year in a row. But before the excitement, Smitty told the media he's going to help Lemon in any way he can.
Whatever he needs, he has it for me. Not gonna try to, get in his way. Everyone handles things differently, but if he needs me, I'm there for him. And
so on one hand, you have Makai Lemon, DeVonta Smith, Eli Stowers, the new era pass catcher, super exciting in Philadelphia. On the other, though, A.J. Brown is technically still an Eagle, and technically we heard from him for the very first time since all the trade drama at his annual youth football camp in Allentown, PA. And I think the media jumped on the headlines here a lot more than what was actually there, but there was a couple of moments that made a lot of Eagle fans scratch their heads. For example, Brown's son leading the crowd in an Eagles chant, which was interesting, but then Brown himself taking the mic at the end and telling all of the onlookers not to believe everything they hear in the news.
I love you all. I don't care what you hear out there. I love you all. You understand? It's love. All right, we're going to play Eagles on 3. 1, 2, 3.
And that's a little interesting. To me, it's him saying, don't believe everything you hear about me hating Philadelphia. I love my time in Philadelphia, but peace out, I'm going somewhere else. Some people said that this is him saying, don't believe the trade rumors. I totally disagree with that. He is 100% being traded, and if he wanted to actually dispel that just to prove why I think he's going to be traded here based on other things I've heard as well, why didn't he just pick up the microphone and say, hey guys, I don't want to be traded. I want to stay in Philadelphia. Don't believe everything you hear. But of course, he didn't, and so the under-the-table handshake deal between A.J. Brown, the Patriots, and the Eagles seems very much in play for a 2028 first-round draft pick. Schefter said that today on the Pat McAfee show, but it did cause a stir in Philadelphia this weekend, and some media members are still trying to convince you that A.J. Brown is not going to be traded, he doesn't want out, and that simply is not true. Either way, though, it is worth noting we are less than 1 month away from the A.J. Brown trade, happening likely on June 1st, probably June 2nd. Again, we'll cover it whenever it happens, but naturally, we save A.J. Brown stuff for last because we're all exhausted from it. It did make headlines, though, over the weekend. Curious your thoughts on it overall down below. Now, of course, plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. I'm back home in the studio. I was traveling over the weekend, but we are back for what's going to be a jam-packed May. We have OTAs, we have minicamp, maybe some new signings. We'll cover it all here in the channel. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.